the actual, sorry, I just want to quickly take this transcript off. All right, you won't find in the uploaded lesson, but it's just a case study around Jacaranda. We're going to look at the power spot,
Sorry,
and this is
please.
yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Will you please, can you please upload this version of the slides, please?
Okay,
Your
I'll
version of the
resend.
slides,
Okay,
please.
great. I'll resend this one to Grant and just make sure that he uploads that. Okay,
Thank you.
excuse me. Okay, great.
Or if possible, Chris, you can probably maybe WhatsApp us or something.
I can always
Yeah,
WhatsApp the
please.
stuff to you.
Mm.
Let me just get my computer WhatsApp running again because that's always a mission. Um, uh, and then it'll be easier just to send you everything. Do you understand? The alternative that I can do, which is probably smarter, is to just create a Google Drive folder and just upload everything into that, and then just share the folder link, which I think is going to be better. So you can pick and
Yeah,
choose
sure.
what you want. Okay. Right, I'll do that.
It's great.
All right, so power spots, I don't want to talk a lot about them. There's a lot of little semantics about the power spot. And again, this is gonna be quite a short lesson. Um, in the way that once you understand what the relevance of the power spot, and it's a relatively new concept, quote unquote. This is why I included the case study from Jacaranda, because they were, I say, commercially and in terms of media coverage of them claiming it here in South Africa. They were the first ones to actually do it. Now it's very common, and it goes straight hand in hand with brand ambassadors. And over the past couple of years, we've seen we've seen definitely, look, I mean, when a product or a client or a service or a company, whatever it is, wanted to partner up with a station, and then they would pick and select certain DJs, presenters, to endorse their products. This started happening a good maybe about 7 years ago, when it started coming into fruition, where they would pay a lot of money, like they would pay a good up to about 60,000 rand for a jock to, let's say, do like obviously sign a deal, like obviously sign a contract, and for 3 weeks, like you would do two Instagram posts, you would do three tweets, and you would do whatever, like one YouTube upload video. You know what I'm saying? Video upload, and you would get your 60 grand. So it was part of talent management as well. And you would be a brand ambassador for that product for that period of time. And again, it would be controlled in Prime Media. It was controlled by the talent. Like, they developed specifically a talent department, right? Talent management department, because they wanted to obviously make more money. The station gets obviously a cut of the deal. And then obviously the presenters have no problem with that, because they're finding the work for you, as opposed to you going out and then kind of like cold case calling whoever it is to possibly be a brand fit as a brand ambassador. So we're gonna obviously end with the brand ambassador, but it's this concept of the power spot, um, which is kind of a process of, like, a jock will start to show some kind of lifestyle choices and changes. It was kind of very vague and not as meticulous as we are today, in saying quite outright, we are like endorsing this product, or look at me using my new Samsung S23, like it is fantastic. It was, for some or other reason, encouraged, like the presenters were encouraged to act as if it was natural. Do you understand? But again, as social media is, you understand, social media, where you're now building these kind of personal relationships and these personal stories or whatever. It was still a guessing game as to how to do things. And back then, like, now it sounds silly, but back then it made a lot of sense. We didn't want people, like, just out of, like, off the bat, just promoting stuff, because we weren't in that era just yet of, like Instagram, being very, very, like I say, very product oriented, very service oriented, and again, kind of that unashamedly pushing your agenda. So it was slowly developed into something that was kind of natural. The jock would be found in these places. Would There would be a, let me just quickly accept who this is. That would be found. Sorry, people. Okay. Are you guys accepting? Okay, good. All right. All right. Okay. So they would be found in these
Sorry, Chris.
circumstances. Yes.
Can I quickly disturb you all guys? I
Yeah.
need to drive from work to home right now. Can we have the recording available maybe by tomorrow?
Yeah. I upload them tonight. I don't want to kill time tomorrow. I'll do it tonight, like right after we end. I upload the stuff and then I share.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, thanks. I'll
All
just go
right.
through the recordings.
Cool. Okay, great.
Enjoy, guys. Bye.
Okay, cheers. All right. So again, it was really important. This pairing is really important, right? The presenter and the product, right, is super important because you've got to now like project some kind of essence that is obviously the product's ethos and essence as well, and that it's got to connect. It's got to make sense, right? So normally again, but the sales team would also find some avenues in being able to kind of push another way to make money. They would see like maybe your interests were animals, or they were like it was with the SPCA, or like you're a fashionista or whatever it is, and they would then couple you together with certain brands that would come to them and say, we would like to like execute this concept of a power spot, which would have a lifespan. There would be then obviously the very gradual and very necessary on air, very brash promotion of it, and there would be then post promotion as well. But this constitutes a lot of money and another way to make obviously revenue in in the radio space as well. So like the power spot can be anything between 60 seconds to 3 minutes long. It can also vary, like again, as we'll see with the case study over here, as to what Jacaranda decided might be appropriate, right? The big thing is obviously not to overemphasize on one product for too long, because that is advertising space that becomes extremely costly, and then is kind of like a loss to the station, right? So the presenter has to be very careful and obviously very experienced in how to handle time management, obviously also pitching with purpose in this sense, right? So and they would say the brands often purchase power spots, and then they will tell you like, please push this angle in a very personal way. So almost to be confused with a live promo, but not really, because of the personal aspect and again the kind of depth that we go in for a power spot, and the brand ambassador then obviously culminating from this. Power spots offer the advertiser premium placement. So that is definite, because the moment a jock decides to make this personal, people start to then make the connection a lot clearer, and it becomes a lot more solidified in whatever they're trying to do. So also through experiences, it makes it very easy for us to place a listener in the same experience, right? So let's quickly look at this example, and I'm going to read it out because it's the best way to do it. Just to show you, this was the article that was printed on, I think it was media, um, uh, uh, I don't know what they call them, a media link or whatever it is, responding to advertisers wanting maximum impact for the advertising budget. Randa proposed power spots, a strong advertising option that promises to achieve everything a good radio campaign should, but with added endorsement value. So Q photo, which definitely needed, like I think we've discussed, obviously the death of like Q Photo and of Kodak specifically, because they didn't want to change. Like Q Photo definitely needed to come in and push their digital photo printing and all their digital options, like what you could get in digital frames and digital lists, whatever it is, for them to obviously survive. Unlike Kodak, which died in the water, literally went dead in the water after 100 years of being like a top prestige brand, right? So this is like Q Photo made a good decision saying, okay, listen, we want to obviously propagate how we're going to show people like this is of value. You know, everyone's taking pictures on their phone. That's cool. They posting it up to social media. So there's a storage space somewhere. You can't, if you like, the way you can really only lose your photos is if your phone crashes, you haven't saved it to a cloud, you haven't saved it again, you can't download again from social media. We need to give them a little bit more, and that only comes with obviously seeing to believe, right? So to drive awareness, right? Because obviously there's 9 stores in Pretoria, and that's quite a lot. Just to say anything to do with the photo industry or the photographic industry, to drive awareness, Jacaranda kicked off with a series of generic commercials across all time bands. So they started to create the awareness, like something is happening, like Q Photo is, and they're doing this. So again, like I say to you, why do we decide to advertise? Because we got something new, we got something to say, we got something to sell, to drive awareness. Okay. So in the second month, the station added a single effective power spot for Q Photo, executed by back then Kino. What was Kino's Cami something? I don't know. I can't remember now. But Kino was doing the breakfast for a very short time, and breakfast with Kino and the Angels morning drive time show. Prior to the flighting of the power spot, Kino lived the Q Photo experience by having his digital photos printed at a Q Photo outlet. With first-hand understanding, Kino was able to talk knowledgeably about the camera Q Photo provided, as well as the effortless experience of getting his photos printed, although difficult to measure the added power of his personal endorsement, which is a massive part to this, because again, if Kino does it, Kino Cummings, yeah, it is that, yeah. So if Kino does it, like we're gonna believe him, because he doesn't, and he's not supposed to be lying as well. Because we can also see through we can see through a crap promotion or a crap product or a crap service, and when you're trying to sell us crap at the end of the day. Okay, let's go down a little bit there. A couple of months later, Q Photo is a proud leader in Pretoria's digital printing market and continues to advertise on Jacaranda 94.2, reaching over 2.376 million listeners. And that's Jacaranda, but also Jacaranda out in Mpumalanga. That's how they get to that number in general. And also back then, we were still using SOF. So not as accurate as it is today, but still, again, highest percentage of P1 listeners. And so people believe what they hear. The listeners believe Jacaranda wholeheartedly as they listen to whoever presenter that is talking, right? Okay, and as I said there, both in the Lowveld, Northwest, and Mpumalanga and Limpopo is how they get those numbers, right? So you understand the concept of how we roll out this power spot, and again, here's an example. Like if, let's say, a 30-second spot costs $650, as I said to you before, like on Jacaranda and on East Coast, for 30 seconds on the breakfast show, it costs about 18,000 Rand, no jokes. Then the client will pay the following 6 times as much for a power spot. And then obviously that is it's compartmentalized over, let's say, the show itself, or over executions in a week of the show, or different areas of the month where they come back to it, depending on how much they're paying for, and obviously how slowly they would like to build certain steps in obviously solidifying the familiarity of their product or their brand or their service with the listener themselves. Okay. So once again, this is again about their personal profile and trusting that person, which is how endorsements work as it is. We like, I mean, um, we us like soccer stars. I'm sorry, they're the biggest they endorse, and also like sports stars. I'm saying internationally, they're the ones that lucratively make big bucks off many endorsements, whether it's eau de toilette deodorant or whatever it is, or it is like chocolates, or it's like some kind of USN product, or it's a clothing brand. It doesn't matter. Like they are they're trusted far greater than an actor actually is. So if you, let's say, get like Chris Hemsworth, you find him promoting a lot of stuff, especially with the kind of that upper class watches and jewelry and that type of stuff. And again, also very high end like eau de toilette products and stuff. That's fine, but people don't really trust an actor because they are an actor. So it's nice and all to have the face there, but they're much more likely to buy from an actual supermodel. I'm saying to you, as an endorsement, than they would an actor. But definitely from a sports, I'm saying a sports star, because they do things in kind of like in like a pure form. There's nothing, there's kind of like there's no scandal, there's no kind of ulterior motives within the concept of sport itself. It's very clean. It's definitely a recreational, habitual nature part of our lifestyle that pretty much everyone in the world, somewhere or other, is affected by or is interested in. And so the thing is that they get most of the endorsements. Anyway, my point is that we need to trust the person. So like Naomi Campbell has done a couple when she's obviously created scandal, everyone kind of doesn't touch her. If we look at Johnny Depp, when he went through this entire thing with his disgusting wife that pooed on his bed and stuff and all that type of stuff, like Johnny Depp lost a lot of endorsements, lost a lot of his movie contracts. Like the thing is that people want to stay away till the heat is off, even though his name was cleared and everything went through. It's very difficult to get someone endorsing a product, even being related to your product brand, if any type of scandal is associated with them. Right. So we've seen that also in our own artists and our own celebrities quite easily explode, like implode, should I say, with a lot of their own, like I say, a brand ambassador roles, and how they're just left in the dust because people actually do not have time for money to be kind of burnt due to like someone that can't control themselves. Yeah, I was going to mention the guy from that because we mentioned like Johnny Depp. The guy who plays Kang in the Marvel movies named Jonathan something, man. Because of his there was so much success around this guy, and he had a bunch of endorsements once again as well. Like just because of and I mean it's serious. He's allegations of abuse. Everyone literally dropped him like through, and he worked really hard to get to like this big particular role. Also played in Creed, whatever it may be. I want to carry too long. Oh, I don't want to carry on too long. I'm giving the example of how easily like the trust is broken, and the brand will immediately completely alienate themselves from you. We see many people in radio being fired completely because of things that they've said, things that they've done, things that they've refused to do, or things that they've encouraged and caused a knock-on effect that they didn't expect or intend, but was their fault basically because they were the core of. So anyway, again, the power spot is about looking at bigger picture and then looking at the brand ambassador at the end of the day. That's actually the big deal of it all. Okay. So the brand ambassador, like they have to sign that they have to sign a contract. They have to behave in a certain way. They have to have a number of outputs that are met. They can't be late. There's no negotiation on that. It is agreed upon. They can't endorse opposing or competitive brands. And they also have to really be like, they have to love the product. Do you understand? So again, as I said, like before, it was kind of trying to coerce like the people into thinking, oh, this person is like just naturally saying, my new pair of Nikes are so awesome. I genuinely like the best shoes ever. Like, I'm so glad that I bought them. Into literally saying like I'm here for Nike. I'm so glad to be here as a brand ambassador. I'm pumped out with Nike tights, with I don't know, like ski pants, this whatever it is, I don't know, plus some Nike deodorant. And it's more acceptable these days to just be straightforward, because people can't stand it when you're being fake at the end of the day, and it certainly does not help your trust that you're trying to build with them. But also at the end of the day, again, you're trying to sell something. So yeah. Okay, let's end off this. It says the briefing and reporting process of power spots needs to be detailed, thorough, and honest. That's what I'm saying to you. Everything is calculated, even though it is up to the presenter to really turn it into like this moment that is authentic. And even though people know, like, you are promoting Q photo here, like we know it, like tell us more about that, like and tell us about your experience from going, like your first experience of way back in the 80s or 90s or whatever it is, which is something you'll probably hear on Jacaranda, where you would go and wait 24 hours for your photos to be developed. And there's a whole great reason why nostalgia sometimes is not such a great thing after all. And bring it to these days where, like a photo in its actual like physical form is still so much more like valuable than what you might just scroll through on your phone, and then explaining how you can just kind of or immortalize loved ones that have passed, or like those moments that you can have, I don't know, like a quality. They can up. What do they do at like True Photo? They can um take like an old photo and make it look really good. I don't know what that word is. I'm completely lost for it. But anyway, yeah, they can obviously upgrade the quality of it, and that's really nice, for photos that have been like in the dust for a long time. You understand? Like the whole point is to be able to really, really say, like, I love what I'm busy endorsing right here, and I'm not just selling you like payoff lines and so on and so forth. Okay. So, as opposed to, you know, uh, endorsed and unendorsed versions, I just want to go back on it. I didn't really emphasize uh, here. So again, unendorsed, just want to quickly point out there, um, will not be presented in the first person. Okay, so it's actually more taken on by the station itself, and then story told through different executions. Whereas then obviously the endorsed one is by obviously a power player. Just to kind of clear that out, I'd like this rather be a discussion to kind of end the class with. All right, and explain to me, like, kind of like brainstorm some ideas that I know we're harping on again about this take a lot sale and this end of year sale, whatever it is. uh how would you how would you and who would you maybe use like as a good example for endorsing like a take a lot, like end of year sale? So any of yous, let's just go from left to right. Simpiwe, like just any ideas that pop to mind and why.
Um, I can use Anele Mdwada.
Okay. So we know
Yeah.
obviously Anela's got pull in ways that you can't actually quantify anymore. You can't really, because because Anele's been
Mm.
She's been involved in so many different aspects. So, for example, from her own talk shows
Mhm.
to obviously the game shows to the Miss South Africas to the Strictly Come Dancing to the understand. So her
Yeah.
brand is very it's very versatile. Okay, how would you bring? You see, the thing is, the essence of Anele needs
Mm.
to be brought to the endorsement of Take a Lot. So because she is, again, because she isn't, you can't see that she's specializing in a certain area of, you would
Mhm.
have to hone in on her personality. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And and I don't want to give you the ideas. Give me how you would bounce off the personality that is very sharp. It's very obviously witty. It's super it's super vamp bitch. You understand? Where vamp is basically it's pop culture bitch. Where
Mm.
people must love you to hate you to love you.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
no, but that is Anila. I
Okay.
mean,
Cool. Mm. Mm.
since I met her when she was 19 and worked together, that's literally that is her thing.
Mm.
Like that's her thing,
Yeah.
because that's who she is. So how would you use
Mhm.
that even in a tagline? I mean, there's some quite easy, there's some quite clear options that you could go for.
In the tagline itself.
Anything, yeah, anything you want to brainstorm. Like I said, you could have Anele do this. She could say
Yeah.
this. She could dress this. She could do whatever it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think because when it comes to his personality, he's more like bubbly and whatnot, I mean. So, but I would love to kind of, bring that, um, that what do you call, how can I put it? Because he's more like bubbly, as I said. He's more likable. He's more, how can I put it? He's more approachable.
Who's this?
So, and that's Anela, right?
Oh, so Anele, the woman, and Anele, the breakfast show host,
Yeah.
Mdoda.
So,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
Doda.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
I'm Doda. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So now, in this case, I would love to bring her side like more like, is this Anele? You know what I mean? So that side of her, but I can't explain how. I don't want to use the word like that like you know do you know Kanyimbao?
yeah,
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that
yeah.
side of like I would love to bring Anile side of Kanyimbao if I can put it that way, in this
Okay.
type of
And
opening,
how does that tie into Take a Lot? Like, let's say, like a year-end special.
Obviously it's gonna grab attention. It's gonna draw attention, you know what I mean? Because you don't you're not we're not like used to that side of Anele, but at the
No,
same time, it will be like Anele, and then also, end of the year sale, more of like dressing her in such a way that, you'll be like, yo, I would love
yes,
to, let's say maybe there's a drive show, or maybe there's a, what do you call, there's a, what do you call, promo somewhere, maybe one of
yeah.
the biggest take a lot, and then you would love to go there and see her physically, you know what I mean?
Okay, so let's say, for example, like, because she is, like I say, a vamp. She's a vamp bitch. She's a glam queen. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Like glam
Like
queen,
she's
yeah.
supposed to be, yeah. Like you can dress Anele up. I'm saying in her environment with everything that costs less than $2,000 in total, something like that.
Something
So
like
you
that,
can
yeah.
you
Dress
can
it up.
you yeah you can vamp up your life, but at a quarter of the price type thing. If I
Yes,
nearly can do it, so can you type thing. That type
like,
that type of vibe.
yeah, you know what I mean? But
That's nice.
also at the same time, not like, you are, what do you call, misleading the audience or the
No, no, no.
customers, you know what I
That's what I'm
mean?
saying
Like,
to you. Like it's got to be clear. It's got to be clear. Anela does not live like a sheltered life. I'm saying to you, she
there you
does
go.
spend a lot of
Yeah,
money. Like she spends it on
yeah,
really expensive stuff. Like like I'm saying to you, you have to be very honest in the fact that, like, there's another thing, like, because Aneli will also, I mean, if it's costs less, she go and buy it. She's not
Yeah,
she's not gonna burn money just because for the sake of it. So you can take that angle as well, and show Anele,
for
like,
sure, for sure.
yeah, be like, you know what I'm saying? You know, like I say, your
Yeah.
Glam Queen can shop. It does shop for better prices, and no better price, obviously. You could show with the family as well, or her struggle in deciding how to, like how a Christmas list is formed, you know. Like, you can tie in different, you know, year-end stuff, like activities, which you can also personalize it as well. um that's cool. I like that.
Yeah,
Bash, what
yeah,
what do
definitely.
you got?
Um, I think I would tie it to something relating to her child. She does speak more of
Yeah,
Alake, and
yeah,
I would figure something out that relates to, you know, the kid, the fun that happens around, you know, the Christmas season,
yeah.
you know, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so remember with the, yeah, so would that be like a family oriented bit? Because you don't want to focus
Yeah, I
primarily
think
on the child itself, but her as a family. So, like, the family making Christmas, like, better. You know what I'm saying? Making it like
def
that.
definitely. I think also because her show also has like versatile, like, you know, different age groups who listen to the show. So
Yeah.
definitely it would be something tied to, you know, something family orientated.
Yeah. And we don't get to see, the thing is, we don't get to see that side of Anele. We don't, because she doesn't sit and put her, you know what I'm saying? She doesn't sit and put her son up for, like, Vanity Fair, you know, photography and stuff like that. Um, so it would be nice to actually see the family aspect of Anele. Whether she'll go for it or not is another thing altogether. Because, I mean, to kind of commercialize your family, it's a yes and a no. It's a nice
She probably
concept.
would, considering how Alake is already, you know, a
A little mini
socialite,
celebrity.
you know, and a little
Yeah.
influencer. So she probably wouldn't mind if, you know, a good strategy was put to the table.
Yeah, as long as it's, you know, it's not slash harmful slash, um you know, to the child itself as
Yeah,
well.
definitely,
Yeah,
definitely,
you
definitely.
can also, the thing is, like, it's not to stop there. The thing is, we must think bigger. So I like to put Anele with her sisters, you know, and to put her with her father and her grandmother. I'm not sure if her gran is still alive or whatever it is, but to do the Mdora family tree is great to sell a lot of products. Do you understand? Because there's something for everyone. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, kind of to invite Take a Lot as being, like not just a me, it's a meism kind of approach, you know, but
Mm.
more of a holistically. And we obviously have Anita at the center, even though uh um uh her sister is also incredibly famous. What's her sister's name?
Tembisa.
Timbisa.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it,
Tembisa.
right. um but it doesn't matter, because Unati is very, like, Unati, and her, I always forget the youngest sister, which is, she's super sassy. But the four sisters together make for a really and for just the father figure, just to be like there surrounded by women, you know, it's this great thing where
Mm.
you can really create something quite nice and warm and really enjoyable, you know. So, and really, like, kind of like go on the Christmas classics, you know, like, so, like an Mdoda family reunion or a family Christmas, or, you know, that type of thing. But not obviously, like, obviously be able to translate that into something that many people can just rush off and jump online and buy stuff. Tell me, has I want to end with this one, food for thought, right? Um, and then I will, yeah, and then I'll say good night for the evening. Like, who has directly made you like even consider to go and buy something because they are the basically the brand ambassador, but the link too. So the thing is, like, we had, I'll be honest with you, I think I've said this before because it's obviously very true. Like with Bonang's stuff that she endorses, that is also her own products. They're not really, I don't think she doesn't make a lot of money from them. You understand? People don't go and rush out to buy the Bonang clothing, for example. Maybe the I think there's the champagne. She's got the champagne or the like the I don't know what is it, the something wine or whatever it is. Um, but but maybe if she does jewelry, I'm not sure if she does jewelry, that would be something that's more likely to be sold. But um, I don't see a lot of people going out to buy just because it's a Bonang product.
I
Um,
beg to differ. Sorry
okay,
to
tell me,
interrupt.
yeah,
I
tell,
think I think people or consumers or customers, they don't really buy products, but they buy, they buy brands,
no,
the
they do,
reputation
sure,
that you have,
yeah,
the emotional connection that you have with a brand. And when I think of Bonang, I
yeah.
definitely do buy her BNG, um because of Bonang, not necessarily it's the alcohol, but like I'm buying
No,
because
no,
I know
the
Bonang.
alcohol I can believe. Did you buy the shirt that is super? I mean, just as Bonang on, and it's like $400.
Yeah.
Did you buy the shirt? Oh no, then
Well, I
and
have. Yeah.
okay,
Well,
wow, that's you're a, I mean, you're a super fan, which is great. Okay, so I'm glad I'm wrong. I really thought because the DJ Zinkler stuff, like her products and services seemed a lot more like palatable. Do you understand? Because I think
mm,
she does. Does she do? Who does the hair extent? No, no, is it the hair
yes,
extensions?
it's her.
Yeah,
It's
it's
DJ
Yeah,
Zinke.
sure.
It's
Zinke.
her.
Yeah,
She does Her Majesty.
that's
Mm.
right. Yeah, and that seems more like it's like you can use it. Doesn't make sense. So she went in and she did that. I don't know. To tell
She does
me,
jewelry,
yeah,
watches,
yeah, like that.
clothes.
You see what I'm saying to it? Something that you can keep. And I know that the shirt is a shirt. Listen, I've also bought expensive shirts from very basic, like I say, comic book clothing, and it's silly at the end of the day because it's just a shirt that you're gonna go and go put the stuff yourself. But I didn't, yeah, I didn't expect the shirts to be selling as much, only just because it had just her name. Like when it
Mm,
when it serves more of a purpose, like I say, like the booze, people will be like, give me. The book. I mean, the book sold so much, and she was like, I don't even care that it is so badly edited, like that type of stuff. Um,
mm,
but again, she's a conglomerate. Like Bonangs are pretty much our biggest conglomerate, really. And then Rebecca Molope, like genuinely, like
really?
no, really, yeah. Because if Rebecca says something to, I'm saying to you, you must understand that we're predominantly a religious nation. You understand? Like
Okay,
she
okay.
has more power than Bonang does. For example, I'm saying to you in that way, and more reach. But the thing is, when you look at the celebrity side and the entertainment, I mean, both are entertainment, but then Bonang becomes international. Do you understand?
Mm,
She's surpassed a national grade. And I'm not talking about like literally because she does sell overseas and stuff. She surpassed the persona that has become an international conglomerate. You know what I'm saying to you? Where she operates outside the bounds of like our borders. Doesn't make sense, metaphorical or not. Okay. Okay. Great. Guys, learn everything fine? Did you learn something? All good?
I'm all good,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, all
Great.
good, Chris. Yeah, all good. But it seems like now we're getting deep into, the nitty-gritties of the actual,
Great.
yeah,
I'm
stuff.
glad.
Yeah.
I'm eager to get to the content. You understand, like the actual radio part. I'm not saying that this isn't radio. It is radio, but we're kind of bouncing around all the other departments right now. And
Okay.
then I want to get to the I want to get to the content. You know, the actual
Oh
development of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah.
please have a look for yourself. I mean, I have sent you the third year call out, like as well. You see that call out example, right? So you can have a look at just how the call out is constructed in terms of like finding different avenues of information, and then like obviously playing like an audible piece and whatever it is, and to start seeing the construct of what a call out will be, you know. And then there's different, obviously, like there's different thought patterns that I don't end off the link with. I put them there so that they can form part of like the execution process when I do that link, for example, right? So so have a look at that just to kind of get acclimatized to. And let me just see what else I've sent you. Yeah, the clock. You don't need. I'm saying I'll go with through that with you, but yeah, I would look at the yeah, this I think I've done, yeah, the call out, the content call out example, three dimensional one, that one. And then I think I gave you even show prep. I just want to see if that's correct. Just give me a second, yeah. Um it must be mine, not someone else's. Yes, this is mine. Okay. So yeah, I've given you show prep like for an entire, I think I've given an hour. Did I give an hour or did I give 2 hours? Yeah. But I gave the news in there. I gave, and it's obviously just like a year or two old, right? But you will see how I plotted out like the prep for a show. Okay. So you can have a look at that as well. In the meantime, to get acquainted with. Okay.
Okay, cool.
All right, guys. Then have a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. You
Thank
too.
you.
Chris,
Yes. Yeah.
just on the summatives, one question quickly.
Yes.
Um, do we have to tackle it as a group if we want to, or just it's individual works?
No, this must be individual. Yeah. So the thing is, again, just because the thing is that you're going to be tempted to even do similar ideas. Do you understand? It's better to bounce the idea off me than someone that is in your class. Because the moment that the similarity comes up, you understand. And it's very easy because the thing is that you'll have one angle and there'll be another person with a similar angle. Do you understand? There won't be much more out of the box thinking. There's going to be a bit of an issue. You're
No,
okay.
no, what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, let's say me and Bash, we want, we are more like a team. We want to, you know what I mean? Like to
You want to tackle
be,
it together.
yeah, and then submit
Okay.
same thing, submit
Uh,
one thing.
So okay. So me, I can't say yes to that. You must do whatever you want. I don't want to know about it. Like I say, so I'm quite certain
But is
that
it
you got
acceptable?
it's not, again, just for the reasons that I said,
Okay.
specifically because, like, let's say you could have easily done that in the previous one, because how would I be able to tell? It's all theoretical. It all came from your book. Do you understand? So let's say you could have shared, the questions, said you do the question one, you do question two, whatever it is, and we'll all check it and obviously collate and collaborate at the end just to make sure that everything is correct. So what? I see not I don't really see like a problem with that. Just that, like for me personally, I like to do my own work. So I would have done it on my own. In this one here, there's too much interpretation. Does it make sense? So you have to come up with stuff. If it is to flesh out the concepts so that you can work more constructively together, does that make sense? That is fine. Go ahead and do that. That's nothing. That collaboration for greatness, do you understand? Is always encouraged. Do you understand? So to have two minds or three minds to bounce off is fine. Just don't be pulled into then, okay, well then who's going to use this idea? You understand? Because then you're all going to end up using the same idea at the end of the day. But also, again, don't all make the same mistake. You see, so if you're collaborating, make sure that you all get the right answer. I'm saying to you that so that you can, because otherwise three of you will all be wrong. I'm saying to you, right?
Okay.
Coming, yeah. Make
Okay.
sense?
No, it makes sense, Chris.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to stop that recording.